Um, can you share a bit what sort of activity people can do in the office or at home if they do have similar kind of problem? Meaning, if they have lower back problem, in general, we're not going to be so specific what kind of lower back problem. Let's say he or she has lower back problem and maybe joint pain on the knee. What kind of activities this person, he or she, can do in the office and also at home?
Okay, so I'll be more than happy to show a few movement drills later, but I want to clear some of the air. So the very first thing that I always make sure my patients are stress-free, because if you are having a lot of built-up stress, the best thing you can do is actually to just go for a walk in the park, to cycle around, or engage yourself with a personal trainer to make things a little bit less worrisome for you, because sometimes it can be very stressful for an individual. As when they finish work, they still need to go to the gym. They need to plan, what am I going to do today? And if that individual does not have a solid plan, they will find themselves stressing and not going to the gym altogether. Okay, so first things first is to try to go and do some form of activity, be it walking, swimming, cycling, and all these are free. You can hit the nature. It's actually absolutely free for you. Okay, so that's the very first thing that I will encourage them to do, to check their stress levels. Okay, and when their stress levels are controlled, their pain will definitely not be that amplified. So a lot of times we feel pain because it is a condition that it amplifies by the brain. The brain will tell the structure, oh, you are injured. That's why it gives a lot of negative feedbacks. So it's a never-ending cycle. Okay, so it's brain tell the muscle, muscle tell the brain, and never-ending cycle. So first, move. Okay, and that's the fundamental of us. Move. The worst thing you can do to a very stiff body is don't move it. So please start moving. Then from there, you feel a little bit better, okay? But that doesn't help solve the problem, okay? So for context sake, Mr. J came to me, and his problem is not your lumbar spine, the typical lumbar related problems. It is more so of what we call a sacroiliac joint dysfunction, okay? So then we have the sacrum. I'll stand up. These are your pelvis from the back. The bowl shape, and then in the middle is a sacrum. So what he has, it's actually a tilting of okay, all my friends are coming up already. Okay, and no, I am not a doctor, okay? I am a physio. So don't get that mixed up, because people will get angry, and doctors seeing this, they will think, hey, since when physios become doctors? No, we're not doctors. Okay, so yes, back to the context of that. Because normally when we have a sacrum or pelvis, it's supposed to either look like this, it either look like this. But it also can look like this. It also can look like this.
Yeah, I just found out. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So it's like a Rubik cube, where you can do this and this. Majority of the time, I am seeing this. Okay, and also in women, I see a lot of that. So that's why you can see they have very beautiful arch. Yeah, exactly.
The radials a lot also.
Yeah, so they do a lot of that, and that is actually a very common precursor to hip flexor tightness. Okay, so what I'm going to show, I hope I can get a good view over here. I'm actually in my room, and my bed is over there. Okay, so this is a common drill, and I personally don't like stretching, because stretching has shown to, okay, I'm not saying it's ineffective, but there are things that can be better than stretching. If you see my own workouts, I also do stretch. Okay, I may stretch after a workout, but not before, not even dynamic.
Cuba komen sikit kat bawah apa yang you all pelajari dari episod hari ini. Also, jangan lupa untuk subscribe and share this video dengan kawan you all yang nak sihat and kurus.
Okay, so I like to do activation drills. Okay, so first things first, this is called a pelvic reset. I'm gonna say everything out in theory first. So basically, you're gonna lie down on a flat surface. Both legs are gonna come out, and one leg will be pushing against your hand, and the other leg will be pulling against your hand. Okay, so I'm gonna show you that now. Okay, so in a lying down position, you're gonna be here. This leg has to come up. This leg has to come down. This is not a bicycle. Okay, you have to stay in shape. Okay, so this will be pulling, and your hands must resist. And this has to come up, and it has to resist. And you have to stay here for a good 5 seconds. Okay, I'm actually doing this, but my hands is pushing. My back leg is supposed to be doing this, but my hands over here are pulling.
Okay, understood.
Okay, so this is a static isometric contraction. Repeat that with the same technique. So this is actually going here, and this leg is actually coming up. So pull and push. Hold it for 5 to 10 seconds. So this is actually a very underrated exercise. Okay, this is to help your pelvis, because a lot of our lower back pains don't just come from lumbar spine alone, and it actually comes from your pelvis. And I call this the pelvic resets because it actually helps the pelvis to start moving normally. Whenever we walk, we're actually doing this. We're actually doing some form of rotation. But here we meet big muscular guys who cannot walk, and then they just like this, and they walk side to side.
Right.
And that's why we get their lower back pain. I believe that's how you got your lower back pain in the past as well, when you were really big and massive, and we started walking like this. Like we have an invincible lat syndrome.
Right.
So yeah, I commonly share to my patients, and probably you've never seen it done before, because a lot of times we do a lot of stretching. I'm not saying it's bad, but I think if I have a limited amount of time and I want to do something more effective, that was what I was going to do.
Okay, so I just want to share what I do. Joseph did mention he don't implement dynamic. For me, I usually either implement dynamic stretching or specific. Specific means if let's say I'm training my chest, I'm just gonna warm up with the routine that I'm doing. So
yes.
So these are the two things only I'm gonna do, or I also guide my clients to do it to save time.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Now,
and it's important because studies have shown. Let's say you are about to do a bench press and you warm up with a bench press style. It actually not just primes the muscle, but it also primes the brain. So that's why it's very important for you to get into that mindset, and then optimal and maximal effort can be used for that.
Yeah, agree on that. Okay. Now, final 2 questions.
No problem.
Is there any specific nutrition when someone is injured and going into a phase they are recovering? Meaning, for example, like Mr. J, my client. Yes, he has his own meal plan. He follows his own meal plan. But is there anything else that you would advise him to have or consume so he could recover faster?